All right, so here we are, second attempt. We're going to do this completely over. NAR lawsuit was settled, and or it's not settled, but it went to a verdict, and it was in favor of the plaintiffs. And Follow Up Boss was acquired by Zillow, or agreed to acquire by Zillow. So obviously it's not gone through yet. This is big news for the industry. Two huge headlines in one small period, and we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to address the Follow Up Boss acquisition. A lot of people, a lot of my agents, a lot of outside agents have addressed concern about this, and I think the concern mainly stems from the the worries that the data is not going to be protected. So I've got on my page here, we've got on Follow Up Boss's page, he has some frequently asked questions and says, can Zillow Group access, use, or scrape your customer data? No. The customer data you enter into Follow Up Boss stays within Follow Up Boss. Can Zillow market to your client on our database? No. Can Zillow run analytics, see the source of, or view reports on leads? No. Can Zillow take your lead and give them to premier agents? Again, no. So, and that was just, a list of questions. I reached out to Follow Up Boss and asked for a statement, and here's what they said. To be frank, we wouldn't have agreed to this acquisition if we weren't confident we could keep your customer data safe and protected. But just to be absolutely certain, we're also going to engage a third-party evaluator unaffiliated with us or Zillow Group to make sure of that as well. We appreciate the trust you've placed in us over the years. We don't take that trust lightly, and we don't take it for granted. And we know it's in large part because we've always looked out for the security and privacy of your customer data through SOC2 compliance, regular third-party audits, hiring security-specific engineering roles, and more. That commitment to protecting customer data hasn't changed. So we have reassurances from Follow Up Boss. Look, but here's the deal, right? Is that Zillow has all your customers' data anyway. I would guess that 95% of your customers have registered on Zillow. They don't need this acquisition so that they can take our data and market it. They already have it. I mean, there's Zillow, the largest search portal in the entire world. So I think I understand why people might have these concerns, but I would not worry about it, okay? And by the way, I mean, look, I think, this is reassuring that they're gonna have people in there. I mean, look, these guys have a commitment to the industry. I've worked with them for 10 years. They're a really good group. I know the CEO, I know the employees. I think that this, I really don't think there's a big cause for concern here. Moving to the next headline is the home sellers win $1.8 billion after jury finds conspiracy among realtors. I'm reading from the New York Times right now. For those of you who aren't familiar with this case, which is probably almost no one, but the plaintiffs allege that the real estate trade, NAR, and I think it was Anywhere, Realogy, formerly Realogy, Keller Williams, Berkshire Hathaway, and a couple others colluded into price fixing, okay? The verdict was issued, and it was in favor of the plaintiff. The question we get all the time is, how is this going to change your business? For right now, and for the foreseeable future, the next month, 2 months, maybe even another year from now, nothing will change, okay? And that's because they're going to appeal this decision. It's going to go to an appellate court, and a judge will decide on the fate of this verdict. And I think that, when you have a jury that was probably not informed of the details of a real estate transaction, it might be better served in a higher court. So how does this change? Look, for a long time, we've needed to do a better job of explaining how we get paid. I don't think this is a collusion issue at all. I think if anything, it was a transparency issue, right? And this is why your brokers, your team leaders are encouraging you to use a buyer rep agreement that outlines how the buyer's agent is going to be paid. And I've got Johnny here because John McCarthy's our sales director here at Spyglass Realty. And we didn't plan this, but he had a 3-hour training today on working with sellers and buyers at the same time. And tell them a little bit about what you went over, because obviously you go in this training and then everyone's like, wow, this is what's happening.
Yeah. The topic took over our training for a little while today, which we rolled with it because it's important. It's top of mind, and we wanted to just satisfy the agents' curiosity what's going on. But it's funny because, like Ryan's mentioning with the value, like there's probably a whole bunch of agents out there right now who go out there and have their consultations with their clients, present their value, and get paid their fees, and there's no questions asked. And this will not change any part of their business because they're already at the top of their game, and they're the ones that set the pinnacle and set the bar for this industry at the top. And then we have those at the bottom, and we know that the bar isn't that high in real estate to get your license and get into real estate. And then you have these newer best practices that you're going to have to learn and reiterate every single day. I think we're going to have those agents that there's just not going to be as much room for mediocre agents anymore. You have to level up. You have to be consistently training and understanding what's going on in the world that your buyers and your sellers are going to be aware of. Like right now, the biggest fear about this is the media. The more the media and the more over time, over the next week or two, the more people find out about this is when we're going to get the objections just straight up. What, from a seller? Why do I have to pay the buyer's agent's commissions? I just heard about this lawsuit. Well, we don't have to do that. And if you're not attending trainings and know what to say and how to have those conversations right now, you're going to have a really hard time. For some agents, the conversation doesn't change at all.
Yep.
Here's what we're doing. Let me go ahead and have a presentation with you, show you exactly what we do and then how we operate and what it costs to work with us. And usually at the end of those type of presentations, again, if you're at the top of your game and this doesn't affect you, then their client's going to want to work with you anyway. So what happened today, and this is I think this is a perfect example. We were doing a training on how to talk to sellers, role playing, and sellers and buyers. And we spent a lot of time talking about the process in the middle. So a lot of us can be experts at helping people with listing their homes. And a lot of us can be experts at helping people with buying their homes. And then there's a very complicated scenario in the middle with a lot of moving parts and variables on how to list a home, sell a home, and connect all the dots in between so that you've got their finances and their timeline and all their best interests at heart and at mind. And if you're talking to an agent that doesn't have the type of skills to get you through those type of transactions as a seller or a buyer, then you're going to have a really hard time in this industry. And if you're an agent who's really, if you're going to training and you can go to a presentation and outline your value and demonstrate it to a client, it really doesn't matter what you charge. They're going to be willing to pay what it is that's going to get them to carry them through their journey. You're there to accomplish their goals, and you're going to show them exactly how you do it. And at the end of the day, for your presentation, if you've shown them how you're going to make their dreams come true, they're going to want to work with you.
If you demonstrate the value, right?
Yep.
And so, the answer to that question if the seller doesn't have to pay a buyer anything, right? But is that going to be the best way for them to get their house sold? Probably not.
Right. So right. So this happened yesterday, right? So what's going to happen tomorrow that's different? Nothing. Because if you're the seller or if you're the agent working with the seller who's going to start being the disruptor right now because of this, the outcome of this lawsuit, you're going to be those clients and those customers having a hard time because our industry didn't just change. Our industry changed, but our habits and what we're doing to help our clients be successful didn't change. So, that's where, was my train of thought on this one.
But, I'll also say this, is that the seller commission paid to buyer has always been negotiable, right? As evidence of that, you look at the new home industry, right? When the market of 2021 and part of 2022 was like super duper hot, they reduced the commissions incrementally to zero in some cases, right? And then now, where there's a lot more inventory and the market softened, not only they increase the commission, but they're also paying bonuses again, right? So it's always been a supply and demand issue, and it always will be. But I think this is a really good way to level up the industry. I've got this guy here who's doing 3 hours of training every single week, okay? But I think it's going to be a little bit harder for some people, and for other people, It's not. We're going to flourish in this, and we're going to kill it. I'm not worried about it at all. And if things change over the next couple of years, and the way that we get paid as buyers get changed, we're going to adapt to that. So, I don't know if there's really anything else more to say about this. I would ask that if you have questions or comments, please put them down there. I'll address them as soon as I can. And
change is coming. It's imminent. It always will. It always has. And you need to embrace it and be prepared and be plugged into the people who are taking advantage of what's coming next and how to capitalize from it. And I think that's where we're at.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.